Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar that we have hosted by ISPO and iHouse. We're so excited to get to know you better, and congratulations again on your acceptance into UCSD. So we're going to get started here with our panel on undergraduate student life and getting involved here at UCSD. So the presenters today, it's going to be me, Michelle. Hello, I'm the International Peer Coaching Program Coordinator that also works with ISPO. And then we also have our lovely Sarah here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Michelle. I'm Sarah. I work with International House, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later in the presentation. And I'm pretty new to UCSD myself. So in that way, we're kind of in the same boat a little bit. But really happy to meet with all of you today. Whatever time that is for you all, where you are.
Yay. Okay. So before we begin, I just want to note that you are listening into a listen only mode right now. So you can hear us, but we can't hear you. So if you try to unmute and ask us something, we won't quite, we're not going to be able to hear you. And though, because of this, if you want to ask questions, we do have the Q&A option down there. So please go ahead and submit your questions, and then we're going to be periodically checking it throughout this webinar. And then you can, of course, contact us at icontact@ucsd.edu for questions that you have in the future. And then we are recording this. You'll be able to watch this webinar recording on our iWebinars at ucsd.edu afterwards if you want to go back and refer back to this presentation. All right, and then we also have our control panel here. So the control panel, it's for if you would like to submit a question, like I just mentioned, you can submit it there at the Q&A button on the bottom, and then it'll privately send it to us, the presenters and panelists. And all presenters will stay online until 9:30 a.m. Pacific time to answer those questions. So if we see certain common questions come up, we will read them out loud. And this is mainly so that everyone can benefit from the answers, but we'll not identify anyone who asks a specific question by name. So don't worry about that. We have you under confidentiality. And then we are now going to talk a little bit about the International Students and Programs Office, which is a part of global education here on campus. So we are here to assist international students from the very, very start. We provide pre-arrival information and orientation for new international students. We also provide advising services for you and your family throughout the entire year. So you can come to us if you have any questions regarding your international student visa and your status in the US. In addition to that, we also offer a variety of cross-cultural programs and activities for our students at UCSD and all students here. So a couple of which that I'll be going over on the other slides. We also offer drop-in and scheduled Zoom appointments. So please feel free to always drop in and say hello to any of us, whether it be through Zoom advising or attending one of our programs, or when you do come to UCSD onto the physical campus itself, please stop by our office and say hi. We're always so excited to meet our students. So who are we? So ISPO at UCSD is your one-stop shop for all services and programs for international students. So for example, ISPO, this is our acronym for short, provides immigration advising as well as non-immigration advising topics that may help you understand how to navigate your program here perhaps and succeed at UCSD. So come visit us. I keep saying come visit us because we really want you to stop by, and we really just want to say hello to everyone. And we have 21 friendly faces ready to help answer your questions, and much like iHouse as well. So what do we do? So aside from advising and issuing immigration documents such as your Form 120 perhaps that you've seen and Form DS-2019, we also offer events and workshops, also known as programs, the P in ISPO, to support the successful transition of students to campus and student life, and really just enrich the academic, research, and intercultural experiences for all students at UCSD. So who are our students? So we are quite a large number on this campus. So take a look at our fall 2021 snapshot here. Today, there are nearly 9,000 international students enrolled at UCSD. In addition, there are over 2,000 students on post-graduation, employment status known as OPT, or optional practical training, or academic training, AT. So each of you make a significant and huge contribution to UC San Diego's research and educational endeavors. And of course, ISPO's here to help you and support this growing population through our services, including presentations like this. So let's get started on learning more about what we do. So I would like to refer you at least to this very useful website for newly admitted international students. So here you can find important information about requesting your immigration documents and preparing for your arrival here to the US and to the campus. It is very likely that if you have questions about how to request your immigration documents, you will be able to find all of your answers here on our website at iNewStudent.ucsd.edu. We also have a new feature, excuse me, sometimes I tend to make it sound like future, on our website where you can ask Triton, and you may be able to get immediate answers to your questions. Just depends on the time whenever we do check it. So I encourage you to give it a try. But we also have all of these other pre-arrival webinars that we just hosted. And again, it's going to be all on our iwebinars.ucsd.edu website. So please feel free to check them out if you couldn't make it earlier. And then we have international orientation. This is our big event that is going to be coming up in September. And you can check out iorientation.ucsd.edu. And here we are going to list all of the things you need to know and do and complete before you come to UCSD, and as well as while you're here on campus. So step one is to complete iTriton. You may have gotten an invitation to join iTriton, this sort of orientation course on Canvas. And it's going to be available from June 1st to September 6th. And then step two, we have international orientation sessions. So this is that big event in September that we tend to host in person, but now because of this hybrid world we live in, it's really convenient for all folks, especially for those who can't make it quite as early September, and you're gonna come in right on the top of school. That's totally okay. So these sessions, it's September 7 to 9, and it's going to be mandatory to attend, and they are all virtual. And then step three, international welcome program. So this is September 10th to the 24th. So this is all optional. This is going to be a part of our programming, and it's strongly recommended to come, particularly because when we do have those in-person events, it's going to be a lot of socialization. You're going to be finally able to meet that ISPO advisor that you may have been talking to. You're going to be able to also talk to your other peers, your other freshmen, your other perhaps roommates. I have no idea. And I say this because a lot of people tend to stop by ISPO during their first week at UCSD. So it's going to be a party all the time, and we're always here to celebrate you. All right, so you can also check all of our check out all of our guides, and this is going to be really important. These guides also are pivotal in understanding how UCSD works as a landscape, and also the greater San Diego. So please feel free to check out the ISPO Welcome Guide and the Surf Check, which is amazing if you want to check out some eateries, some places to visit in San Diego. And I say this because many times whenever students get to get really deep and heavy and invested into their program, which is so amazing, you might not have enough time to go and actually venture off into where you are living in, which is Southern California. So that's why we have the Surf Check here, and please feel free to eat it up while you're here in San Diego, in sunny, bright San Diego. Though today, I do have to admit, it is not as sunny and bright. Alrighty, so then here's the P, the programs, of what ISPO is. We have a very, very large menu of different programs that you see listed here as signature programs, also known as I programs. They include our English in Action program, where students are paired with native English speakers to practice their English conversation skills. We have our coffee hours at ISPO, where our students are invited to gather and enjoy coffee and pastries in community with one another at ISPO. We also have our international peer coaching program, which I coordinate, and a program that is so dear to my heart. But this program is dedicated to supporting the success and retention of our new international students at UCSD through a variety of coaching programs and services, and of which you're going to be able to meet 2 of the international peer coaches afterwards in our student panels. So we encourage you overall to learn more about these programs at iprograms.ucsd.edu. And of course, congratulations again to celebrate your admission to UCSD. We created an Instagram filter pack. I love this. So head to our ISPO Instagram at ispo.ucsd, and you can go ahead and download the filters. And I'm making it sound like I have no idea what social media is, but try out these filters, post it onto your story. And if you tag us, we will love to reshare your lovely images. And again, we're all about celebrating our international students, but we're also here to celebrate individual successes like your admittance to UCSD. And for folks who are wondering, we have additional support for international students, particularly regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. If you have any questions, you can check out our iupdates.ucsd.edu website for anything related to that. And also you can check the Chancellor's Office and the Registrar's Office for anything related to fall quarter, particularly when it comes to registration and or tuition and fees and how they're being impacted by the pandemic. We also have web resources for our international students here. These are all of the websites that I just mentioned here, with a few new ones such as iContact and iPortal, and of course, ipeercoaching.ucsd.edu. And if you have any other questions, please do feel free to contact us at anytime at icontact.ucsd.edu. And also please visit us at iNewStudent.ucsd.edu for more information about your journey here, making it all the way to San Diego in September. And now we have the IPC, the International Peer Coaching Program. And this is something, again, very dear to my heart, because it's a really important program that we have here at ISPO and on this campus. So who are we? We are international peer coaches that are assigned to each college to support international first-year undergraduate students during their career at UCSD. And this photo here on the right are our 7 lovely international peer coaches. Though some are going to be graduating and or leaving us, which I'm really sad about. It's okay. I'm really happy that they are moving on to bigger and better things, but you're definitely always going to be in good hands if you choose to see an international peer coach. And for transfer students, you are also an incoming student. So again, congratulations. But if you're an international transfer student, I do want to give a shout out to the Triton Transfer Hub, They have their own international transfer peer coach, and they work closely with us. So please feel free to schedule an appointment with them or with us. We are here. We are also very holistic in our advising, and we want to make sure that you are comfortable. So if you identify more with a transfer student identity, that's totally okay. Please feel free to go ahead and see them too. We're not going to be upset. And just again, please do visit us at ipeercoaching.ucsd.edu. like the programs that we have at ISPO. We have our own programs here under the IPC programs, such as Intercultural Social Hour. We have a big Intercultural Social Hour next week, Tuesday. And as you can see here, these are photos from pre-pandemic, but we used to gather a lot in person to host these professional building events, which we have now pivoted to online because it's just a lot easier with recording and with disseminating that information. And you can also follow us on social media on Instagram at IPCP.ucsd. And then now I'm going to throw it to our lovely, lovely co-host here, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And before I get into my segment of the presentation, I just really want to reiterate, ISPO does want to see you. They want to hear from you. College is a tough transition, even though it's so exciting. I went to college 10 minutes away from my parents' house, and that was challenging for me. So you have a lot to work through this summer. We understand that. And don't be shy. It's okay to ask a question. It's okay to re-ask the same question if you're just overwhelmed by the resources and the amount of information. So ISPO is here, iHouse is here, the international peer coaches are here, and there's lots of people that are waiting to help you. So don't be shy and don't feel like you're bothering anyone to reach out over the summer or afterwards. So I'm going to point you to another great opportunity for student-to-student peer mentorship that you can take advantage of over the summer. This is the Global Ambassador Program, which is over the summer, and this is peer mentoring, which will assist incoming international and out-of-state undergraduate students with all of those exciting and less exciting questions about the transition. If you want to connect to students and ask their advice about what resources they've enjoyed, how to navigate the transition to moving into campus, this is a great resource. You have questions that you don't even know you have yet. So it's going to be really great to have, a friendly face when you show up to campus, but also that, student perspective over the summer when you're kind of setting up for this new phase of your life. And I'm going to introduce a little bit about iHouse. Again, I'll be brief because I want to give you as much time with our international peer coaches Q&A as possible. I work for an organization called International House on campus. We are a living and learning community, so we have a residence where students can apply to live called International House, which is full of students that have global interests or global backgrounds that they really want to bring to campus. And as a programs office, we run globally oriented programs as well. So while we do hope that you one day want to apply to live with us, you don't have to live with us to participate in iHouse programming. We run programming for all students from all colleges. So if you have an interest in making this campus, a more global place, celebrating your culture or connecting with other globally minded students, we're here to help that happen while you're on campus. Some of our specific programs really celebrate a lot of arts and performances on campus. Through iHeart, we partner with a lot of student organizations that do a lot of cultural dance, music, different creative forms of expression. So we help host those as parts of student-led campus events. Language conversation tables this is one of our most popular programs. This is a space where language learners and language enthusiasts can get together and practice a language at all different levels, from beginner to advanced. So if you're interested in practicing a language or even hosting a table, if you want to share your language expertise with others, we definitely encourage you to get involved with that. For programming that reaches a wider view, we have our global forum where we work with faculty members and scholars outside of the UCSD community to really discuss current events that are happening around the world, to really lean into those current issues that we face as a world and bring more awareness of that to campus. Global Interviews is a series that we use to highlight the great work of cultural student organizations. We just had an interview with Model UN, which is an organization, one of our student orgs that does a lot of work on campus. So this helps connect students with different student organizations. While we do like to bring awareness to serious issues, we also like to have fun and we like to celebrate delicious food. There's a lot of, great foodie knowledge in our community. So during Monday cooking, we actually can highlight different recipes that students may be bringing from their families or their own traditions to share with the UCSD community. And for local outings, as Michelle said, we never want to forget about the place that we are taking our classes. San Diego is an amazing city. It has a lot of its own culture and communities that we want to, learn about, engage with, and be out there in a supportive spirit. Slice of San Diego is an outing where we take students to different, places of interest in the city to just learn a little bit more about the place that we're living during our, 4 maybe more years here at UCSD. At the end of the day, all of our programs have a spirit of building community, whether or not you're a resident of iHouse, a resident of Eleanor Roosevelt College, which is where we're physically located, or maybe you're outside of those groups. We want to serve as a place where you can come together and really feel like you can celebrate, share your own culture, and learn more about other cultures as well, because UCSD is an amazingly diverse and wonderful place, and we want to make sure that there's recognition of that and ways to meet other people that are similarly minded. So where are we? iHouse, which is, it's part dorm, but it's also an event space and an office where I'm working at right now. Our office is located in the Eleanor Roosevelt College area, just north of Thurgood Marshall College. So come by and see us. We're one of the areas of the college that are closest to the beach, which I think is really cool. And it's just a really great space. So yeah, come see us as well. So the invitation is open for both of our offices. Stay in touch. Really the best way to keep up on our events is our Instagram. I'll be honest, I think that's just a more fun way to keep track. So here are our social medias, and please keep an eye out for our events because I think they'll be a lot of fun. So there's a lot of resources that Michelle and I just covered, a lot of ways that you can become globally engaged on campus. We realized this as well. So we have a network called the Globally Engaged Tritons, which includes UCSD Global Education, the ISPO office, which you're going to be very familiar with if you're not already, our international peer coaches, International House, and our Study Abroad office. Our one-stop shop for a lot of these globally themed events is iEvents calendar. This is a great way to just get a quick snapshot of anything that's going on campus. You don't need to know which office is sponsoring what. This will give you a really good sampling of all the great programming that we have to offer. And for all of the engagement that you bring to campus, the interest in these type of activities, you can get credit for that information and that participation. So I'm not sure if you've heard about the co-curricular record, but I'm sure if you haven't, you will hear a lot more about it. This is a certificate that allows UCSD students to earn credit for being involved in extracurricular activities. We sponsor a particular co-curricular record that tracks your engagement with global activities. So on that iEvents calendar, you will see programs that if you participate with them, I think it's up to about 30 hours per academic year, you can actually get a type of record that you can one day share with potential employers, or maybe a grad school application, or even on campus job applications as well, to really have a good record of how much you are engaging in this programming and how much you're bringing to campus. So I definitely encourage you to take advantage of that. It seems like extra work, but I think it's really worthwhile to document everything that you do outside of the classroom, which is still a very valuable part of your experience here. So there are still more ways to get involved. We are not the end all be all of everything on campus. There's so much going on campus. So Center for Student Involvement has a really great search function where you can see the full scope of student orgs to join. Particularly if you click on the cultural tab on this search page, you can see a lot of the student orgs that are meant to foster cultural community. It's a little bit blurry, but like Armenian Student Association, Bengali Student Association, Chinese Union are just a couple examples. There's so many different clubs and organizations on campus that you can find community with. So take some time to search through this and you might find something of interest. Beyond that, on the student support side, we have amazing community centers which help foster and support the diverse student body that we have here. All of these centers are, again, very open and supportive of the students that use their services, and they offer excellent resources that support your wellness and your academic success and just the quality of life that you have on campus. So these are all great centers. They all have their own like physical space on campus. So I definitely encourage you to get to know them as well during your time here. If you ever walk by one of these offices, definitely stop in. And with all of that, there is yet still more resources that you can use to really see the full scope of what's going on campus. So at virtualstudentunion.ucsd.edu, like the iEvents calendar, this is going to give you a really holistic scope of the activities that are going around on campus. You're going to be finding your communities, your groups. It's going to feel like a bit of a madhouse when you come to college, but really, try something new, be open to new experiences. You'll have a lot going on, but I think that you'll be really surprised if you just take a chance on trying something new, maybe outside of the orgs that you're already involved in. It's great to just look at the calendar and see what's going on. Maybe even there's free food involved in a lot of these events. So if you want to participate and get a nice snack or drink, there's also a lot of room for that as well. Great, so I'm going to pass it back over to Michelle and our awesome student panelists for the Q&A portion of the presentation.
Thank you, Sarah. And I also just want to reiterate that iHouse is such an amazing program and office that we have here on this campus. So when you do get, when you're able to get the chance to arrive to San Diego, please do feel free to visit them. They're also more than happy to also answer questions, perhaps maybe not the advising part of things, but anything else, they're there to help you as well. And we always refer our students to iHouse and iHouse to ISPO. So it's a lovely symbiotic relationship that we have with that office. So now we are here at the part that probably you are all waiting for, which is the student panel, and asking or actually learning about what they have to say first and then asking those questions. So our three students that we have here are so amazing. We have Christina and we have Jasmine and Paulina. So I'm actually going to pass it over to you three in that order. And if you could just go ahead and introduce your name again, your pronouns, your hometown, your college, your year, and your major.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So hi, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm currently a fourth year studying economics and international business at UCSD. I am from Beijing, China, and I am currently a student at Marshall College.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to UCSD. I am Jasmine. All my pronouns are she, her, hers. I am from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And at UCSD, I am from Marshall College. At ISPO, I am the international career coach for 7th College. And my major is mathematics, secondary education. I'll pass it on to Paulina.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Hi, guys. My name is Paulina. I'm a second year and I'm from ERC, and my major is international business.
Excellent. Okay, I thought I was on mute for a second, so apologies. So we're going to go ahead and go to our first set of questions, and it's on community. So the questions we have here posed for you three are, how did you find community at UC San Diego, and what advice would you give to an incoming international student trying to find their community at UC San Diego? So perhaps Jasmine, you can try to answer that first question of how you found community. And then Christina, what advice would you give to a new student, such as the folks here listening to this webinar?
Sure. The way I found community at UC San Diego, the process was included a lot of trial and error. So like I just joined a club, didn't like it, dropped it, joined another club, didn't like it, dropped it. And then until I really find like community through events. And honestly, like I didn't expect it to be this easy, but just through engaging with events for international students, I really find that the community of international students at UCSD, although a very big one, but it's actually where I belong.
Definitely. For the second question, so I have two advice. The first one is to go out of your comfort zone and try something new that you wouldn't have done before. And second advice is that for you to volunteer and also to start to build your own network in college. So I would like to expand a little bit on that. So as an international student, especially from a tradition that's a little bit more reserved, or sometimes my parents could tell me things that are like different from what I'm learning currently, it could be hard to try something new. So if you're in college and if you're studying, you're trying to like learn something new and get to meet new people, if you want to step out of your comfort zone, that'll be a great way to be able to connect with other people and also to make your own network. I think college, one of the greatest thing about being in a community in college is that you'll be able to meet people who are in your same age, but they are so diverse and so different from you. They have different backgrounds, different languages that speak. So I think it would be really hard for us to find another time in our life where we'll be surrounded by people who are so different but so similar, share the same interests with us. So it's a great way for you to build your network in college. So those are some of my advice.
I also want to reiterate that finding community here might be really difficult. And I also want to shout out again at ISPO and at iHouse. We're here to support you, not just in your academics, but also in your well-being. And also as the program coordinator for the International Peer Coaching Program, we have our two lovely IPCs here who also assist undergraduate students with this themselves. So we're going to move on to our next set of questions, which is on academics. So our first question we have here is, what has been your experience with academics at UC San Diego? And then what advice would you give to someone to succeed academically? So Paulina, how about you take up this first question here, especially because I know your personal journey here at UCSD with changing majors. And then Jasmine, how about you take that last one?
So when it comes to academics, I think it really depends on like how are you motivated, honestly, in order to excel at UC San Diego. It's like college, so it won't be easy, of course, but like it really depends on like what you like and like what you want to achieve in life in the end. And the professors and like staff at UC San Diego is like absolutely amazing. The professors that we hear have like do research that is like widely like known for. So the professors here, the staff here is just absolutely amazing. You can learn so many stuff that like it's just like mind-blowing. I really recommend you guys just like taking some classes that like, as Christina said, like are out of your comfort zone. For example, like as Michelle said, I used to be another major. I used to be engineering major, and then I switched to business. And I think really just like being open-minded about different ideas and like also taking those different classes really helped me to kind of realize that like what I was doing was not for me, which I think some of you may realize that too on your journey as well, that like you don't have to stick with major that you chose for just because you chose for that in the beginning. It is really important just realize that like what you will like learn right now, you will use it like till the rest of your life. And then like if you like what you're doing, what you're learning right now is the thing that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. So it's like really important to like do what you love, like just like follow your dreams, for your passion, and just also be open, because everybody here at UC San Diego is just amazing, including staff and including like all the professors, including all TAs. So don't be scared to ask for help. If it's not for ISPO, then like for your TAs as well. And we're all here just like for you to help you so you can excel at UC San Diego.
It's a great one. About the advice for you to succeed academically, I would say at UC San Diego, thanks to our college system, we have a lot of academic advisors ready for you. You have academic advisors from your college, from your major. Those people are to help you plan your classes. And then in each of your classes, you also have your professors, your TAs. And those are like for you to ask them a lot of questions, whatever questions you may have, like content-wise and advice-wise. Also, I would say personally, I really like the tip that you should make friends with people in your class. Of course, not all like 400 of them, but like some of them, and some people in your major. Through talking, through studying together, and sometimes even venting, you won't feel alone on your academic journey.
Okay, for a hot second, I also thought I was on mute. Thank you so much for sharing, you two. And I just also want to highlight what Paulina said here. It's okay to not know right now, right? You have 4 years to figure it out. And you also have so many other resources on campus. If you do have any questions or concerns, or just like you're wondering like what else is out there for me, you can totally ask someone. And that's exactly why we have these systems and these offices and these programs set up. Again, we're here to retain you as in your success and your well-being, right? And this is something that we have been highlighting, especially as we're in this post-pandemic sort of phase here, how much we do value your health and your overall stamina when it comes to being an undergraduate student, but particularly being an undergraduate international student on top of that as well. So this is our last set of questions here before we open it up to our Q&A, but it's going to be about life in the US and California. So we have these 3 questions here. And our first one, how has it been for you to transition to the United States for higher education? Perhaps Christina, if you want to try to handle that question. And then what has your experience been like living in Southern California? Jasmine, how about you take that? And then Paulina, what here has helped you in your well-being and success? And also feel free to answer any of the other 3 questions. I'm just trying to divvy it up evenly between you 3.
Yes, definitely. So for the first question, I might have a different experience from those from other of my other international friends. So I went to high school in the United States as well. So a lot of my international friends will come here only for college, might have a slightly different experience than mine. So speaking of my experience, so in high school, I was in the East Coast, which is kind of different from the West Coast, which gives me a really interesting contrast to learn about like different cultures that are here within one nation. Like in the United States, there's different culture as well. So for my transition to California for higher education, I realized there was a culture shock when I came out of high school and going to college, where there are so many people in a public university, whereas my high school was a tiny, we didn't have a lot of students there. So I think the first part of myself is to be able to make friends with a lot of like other students, from international students as well as like domestic students. I think that was a big part that helped me transition better for my 4 years. So throughout this 4 years, I was able to meet people from different cultures. And academically, my transition when I was in China, as well as on the East Coast, as well as the West Coast, has been also very interesting, because I realized that college is very different from high school. You have to be more independent and like make use of your time wisely for example, in high school, we have everything scheduled. Like, you know, what time what I should do in this hour, and like I have a class in at 2 p.m. and there will be nothing for me after 2 p.m. Like it's my free time. But in college, everything's different. Like might have a class in the morning, you might have a discussion at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So it's very different from high school. So I think to be able to be more responsible of your time and how you spend that time is very it's very critical to your success in college. And to the third part, to my transition to the United States, culture-wise, I think it's very interesting to say that it's very interesting to see that from news or that like Chinese media or the Western media can be so different. So I think that has helped me to learn more about like how you can view one thing from different sides. So that's also helped me to learn more about myself, also people around me. So that has really helped me to transition to the States for my higher education.
Unlike Christina, I had a different experience transitioning to the US. My first year abroad was actually also the first year of college at UCSD. So like also marching to answer like those first two questions at the same time.
Okay.
My first impression of this place was like, this is so diverse. I didn't expect to see this much diversity. And I come from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, where like 70% of us is from one ethnicity. So like, it's a lot to learn. I would say it's a lot to learn, and you have to keep your mind open. You have to keep like, you know, like your willingness to learn and then to engage with the community. And also like specifically living in Southern California, there is a lot of nature sites. I would say maybe that's just a San Diego thing, but the nature sites really helped me take care of my well-being. And it also provides me with a lot of experiences that I've not had before living in Vietnam. Like, you know, you can just walk 15 minutes from campus to the beach. And I do that to, you know, just relax and have fun with my friends there.
Okay, as Jasmine answered first too, I wanna answer like last too, because actually living in Southern California helped my well-being and success. So I just love Southern California. Like I'm just in love with California. Like we are literally like living on the beach. Like I have ocean view from my room. Like I can just go like take like 15 minutes walk to the beach, as Jasmine said. Recently I got a board and a wetsuit. So I've been trying to learn how to surf, which also really helped my well-being and success. So living in Southern California is like completely like living in like a completely different reality comparing to where I'm like from Poland. If you like skiing, you can go to like Big Bear 3 hours away. If you like amusement parks, you can go to Disneyland, you can go to like Six Flags. There are just so much things to do and you are never bored in Southern California, and it's just like amazing living in here. When it comes to well-being and success though, I think it's really important to take care of yourself. This is the thing that like some of us may learn a hard way, that like school is not everything, as also Christina said, that like it's really important to like form those relationships, because in here you have a very unique like group of very diverse students, which when I'm like from Poland, like it was something completely different to me, just like to hear about those different like experiences, different like and like different like lives of different people. So I guess just like forming those relationships is really important, and just taking care of yourself. Like studying is not everything. Remember to take breaks, like join this club, like go surfing, just enjoy your life in here. And then I think that's what's gonna make you successful in the end. Just trying to enjoy living in here in Southern California and taking like advantage of all those opportunities offered for you by UC San Diego. It's what's gonna make you successful in the end.
That was such a lovely trio of questions, you three. And also I want to highlight here that yes, like all three of them mentioned that although you're here for school, right, you're also here to enjoy life and enjoy Southern California, enjoy San Diego, and enjoy what we have to offer here. So again, don't ever feel like, oh my gosh, because I'm at I'm at a university in the US that you can only focus on school. No, it's actually more about aiding your growth as you become this new young adult, right? Especially in a new environment. And again, this is something that we do highlight and that we do importantly pillar at ISPO and at iHouse. So now we're going to transition to our open Q&A. And again, thank you so much to Christina, Jasmine, and Paulina. You three are amazing, but please stay so that you can answer some of these questions here that are in our open Q&A. And I'm just going to go ahead and read some. So someone here asked, I was just wondering how early can we start moving into our dorms? So that's a great question. So it really depends. Right now, when it comes to the official messaging from UCSD, HDH, and HDH is the Housing, Dining, and Hospitality office that we have here that kind of manages all things there is to do with housing. They typically don't disseminate any information until mid-summer. And this is because right now they're more focused on students who are moving out in order for them to figure out how you, incoming students, are going to move in. So you're probably going to get more information, I would say, come July, as June is when our graduation happens. So they're very much slammed, I'm sure, with move out conversations there. But I can tell you that from what I've heard, anecdotally from many of our students, they typically start moving in early September, and that's more than likely the official start date. It very much depends on what college you are a part of as well. So for example, we have Jasmine, who's a part of Marshall, and then we have Paulina, that's a part of ERC, which is the Eleanor Roosevelt College. You may have different move-in dates because you're on different parts of campus. And particularly regarding the pandemic right now, we are doing a staggered move-in with very specific times, also with the mandation that you must also get a COVID test before you come. So it really depends. It's rather various and variable in time. So bear with us here, but you can expect sometime within August and September to move in. And then we have another question here actually regarding housing. So how can we find roommates? And do most people pick their roommate or choose to have their own roommates? So again, this is really variable on your situation, but Paulina, I saw you. You want to answer that?
I can actually answer this question.
Yes.
So what surprised me is like some people like I, for example, like didn't pick my roommate. I don't know, I'm not a huge texter personally, so I don't like texting that much. Like I'm very bad texter, reply super late. So I just decided like to give it like up to universe and be like, okay, like who's gonna be my roommate? That's gonna be my roommate. And I was extremely lucky that in both cases I had like absolutely amazing roommates, but it's not everybody's case. If you want to choose a roommate, there is a variety of groups on Instagram mostly that like you can like meet people there. They have like Excel spreadsheets you can like put your info in, and people is gonna message you by themselves even. So I think that's like pretty good like way to like meet your roommate. Just go on those different like Instagram accounts, and there's also a huge community at Reddit at UCSD. So if you are not very familiar with Instagram, but you, for example, like Reddit, you can go in there and I'm sure you can find like ways to like meet your future roommates over there as well.
Thank you, Paulina. That's a lovely point. And this actually is going to feed in nicely to our next question here that I will probably pass it to Jasmine, but it's how often do international students living off campus have the opportunity to socialize with other students? Great question.
Yeah, that's a really great one. I am an international student living off campus right now. But I would say because we're all required to live on campus for the first year, it's like a great opportunity for you to socialize with other students. If you choose to live off campus, there's still a lot of opportunities for you to socialize by going through events. Like even though you're not on campus, you are also welcome to any of your college events and most of the other campus events as well. So like take your time attending them. And then student clubs, student organizations, rec classes, rec is for recreational classes. So like, while you're learning skills and learning a new sport, you're also engaging with the community. Volunteering opportunities. Yeah, there's just a lot of ways that I can think of. And like not living on campus, just like, I would say like the only difference is that you don't have a roommate to talk to every day. That's pretty much it.
That's funny that you say that, but also I want to state what Jasmine is just saying here. Majority of the events, I would say probably 90% of all of our events that are offered at UCSD are open to all students, whether or not you live on campus. And this also has to do with like housing events. As long as you're on campus and you're, for example, if you end up being a sixth college student, they're not going to deny you from an event just because you don't live on campus, right? You are a sixth college student. That is your quote unquote home. So please, you can totally join in on those events, and you can attend and you can thrive there. And just because it's your academic college, that doesn't mean it's just for academic purposes too. It's your little hub that you have here at UCSD. And this next question that we have here is regarding specific student organizations. And I think this is a really valid question, which is, are there any international pre-meds at UCSD? Is there any community, for international pre-medical students? So that's a lovely question. You can definitely go ahead and visit that Center for Student Involvement website with the cultural organizations, because when it comes to very specific student orgs and clubs and communities here, people tend to kind of group it to your racial, ethnic, or cultural background. So for example, I'm very well aware of the Persian Pre-Med Association that we have. We also have the Black Pre-Med Student Association. So again, it really depends on finding which bubble you want to join, whether or not that there's like a larger international pre-medical organization that is officially recognized by the Center for Student Involvement. I'm not too sure. However, I'm more than likely going to say that through the pre-medical program and through the pre-med advisors that we have here, there's more than likely going to be community here within the international students population at UCSD that you can definitely find refuge and home to. So that would be more than about coming to campus and then attending those events that Jasmine was also just mentioning here. So I hope I answered your question to that lovely person who just asked that, And then we have another question regarding housing or coming to UCSD. So when should international students arrive on campus? This is a lovely question. And I'm going to say it's variable, but then I can also expand upon this afterwards. Jasmine, I saw your hand up. Was Christina your hand up too? I'm not too sure, but go ahead, Jasmine.
I'll say one thing real quick. I think your I-20, your student visa allows you to arrive in the US 30 days before your program start date.
Thank you, Jasmine. Christina, did you have something to say?
Yes, so regarding when you want to arrive on campus, I think depending on your orientation day, normally students will arrive a few days before that, and you can request to stay a few days before in our housing, like I think on Triton, somewhere on the website, you can request to stay a few days earlier for your orientation. And also depending on your program start, just like Justin mentioned, that you can decide on when you want to visit campus.
Exactly. I was going to say it really depends on your visa and the allowance that your visa is going to give you in order to make your way to the US, first of all. Whether or not you can come to campus after that, that's totally up to you. Once you arrive to the US, UCSD is here for you with open arms. Regarding housing, though, that's a lovely point that you're bringing up, Christina, about how we do try to provide services for you to have housing when you are here for orientation. But as mentioned, a lot of our orientation sessions are going to be virtual. So please feel free to utilize that hybrid modality, that we have offered for you, and especially when it comes to traveling, because we know September is a hot month when it comes to traveling, and it's going to be, it might be difficult to find tickets or places to live, and we're here to support you, right? And that well-being aspect of it. So this connects back to another question that we have here, which is when do we get to pick the dates we attend for the in-person orientation? That's a lovely question. And you're going to be able to pick all those dates come August when we officially send out the new orientation student packet. And once we send that packet out, then you're going to have all of these webinars, all of these meetings, all of these Zoom events that you can definitely go ahead and sign up and register for. And we are going to be there to answer your questions, but also we're going to be there to help facilitate some new friendships, perhaps, and some new relationships that you're going to be able to foster here at UCSD before you even step foot to the US. And then we also have another question here, which is how can I connect with advisors to choose my course? So you can, once you are assigned to your college, you can go ahead and connect with your college advisor. And this is something that you're going to be learning really quickly at UC San Diego, that we have a bunch of advisors, but which advisor do I go to, right? Paulina, I saw your hand up and you wanted to tackle this question. Go ahead and feel free to answer this, but also could you discuss about the differences of advisors?
Yes, of course. So we have like two types of advisors. We have like your academic advisor and like your college advisor. So as you've probably noticed, we have like pretty interesting like schema at UCSD where you choose your college, which is kind of like, I like to explain to my friends, it's kind of like a Hogwarts house, honestly, that like you just have to take like different courses and stuff. So when it comes to there's general education and there is also your major requirements. So general education, your college requirements that you want to go to your college for. And your college advisors will answer all your questions about your major requirements as well, but they won't have as much knowledge about it as your major advisors. And honestly, it may be a little tough to get in touch with your major advisors right now, because a lot of people are like finishing their third and your second years, and some might transferring. So if you want to access it very quickly, then I recommend you Googling 4-year plan. And it's going to be like the whole plan for your major, like depending like which classes should you choose, which is like really helpful if you don't have time, for example, to get like in touch with your advisors, or like if your time difference like wouldn't suit you, it would be the best probably and the fastest way to know which classes should you take. And on top of that, I would recommend you to go to your college website and check out the general like education requirements. And based on the 4-year plan for your major requirements and general education requirements, I would probably build up your own plan. And probably it's a quick version. This is a quick version. If you have time, go to your advisor, of course, because it's a lot easier.
Thank you, Paulina, for answering that question that I probably would have gone circles in about. However, we do have to end our Q&A session right now because of the time, and I'm so sorry for holding everyone back a minute. But I do want to, again, thank our lovely panelists here for aiding us in answering those questions and sharing about their experiences here at UCSD. So thank you, Christina, Jasmine, and Paulina. But I also want to highlight some really, really quick important deadlines and reminders that perhaps answer some of the other questions that were posed. So right now you can begin requesting your visa documents via the iPortal, iportal.ucsd.edu. And then of course, June 1st, Triton opens on Canvas, and you're going to receive this Canvas email And you can also visit the Triton.ucsd.edu website for more information about what iTriton is. By July 11th, you have to complete your 3 health requirements. You can check that out on the Return to Learn website that UCSD has to offer. And then on July 29th, that's going to be the deadline to register for your college orientation, not UCSD orientation, not ISPO orientation, your college. So for example, the Marshall College, Eleanor Roosevelt 6th, 7th College. And then in September, that's when our new international student orientation happens. And that's when you can meet me in person. That's when you can meet Sarah in person. That's when you're going to meet all these lovely people in person, if you are here on campus, of course, by that date. And if not, it's okay. Once the school year starts, we're still going to be here in person. So please do stop by and visit us. Again, please feel free to visit the Return to Learn website about the vaccine mandates that are definitely instituted by UC San Diego prior to your arrival and or during your arrival to the United States. And of course, these are our lovely offices. Please feel free to email us, check out our website, do whatever you need to do to get yourself situated at UC San Diego. We are here for you overall. And with that in mind, please, again, this is our website at iNewStudent.ucsd.edu. Check out the website and follow us on Instagram for more information and updates regarding the UCSD landscape. And again, thank you so much for everyone attending this webinar. It was so lovely to get to learn more about what you are questioning about and wondering about. And overall, congratulations again on your acceptance to UC San Diego. We are so excited to meet you all. And until then, bye-bye. Have a great rest of your day, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.